You checked your account balance 3 days ago, and the number looked fine. Now you're checking again, and somehow, several $100s have vanished. You haven't made any big purchases. You haven't done anything irresponsible. You paid your bills, bought groceries, maybe grabbed lunch a few times. Nothing unusual, nothing memorable. And yet, the money is gone.
You scroll through your transactions trying to figure out where it went. $47 here, $23 there, $18 for something you've already forgotten, $12, $14, $31. Each transaction is meaningless on its own, but together, they've drained your account before the month is halfway done. This is the spending pattern that destroys more financial progress than any single bad decision ever could. It's not the big purchases. Those are obvious, easy to evaluate, and hard to ignore. It's the small, forgettable spending that compounds invisibly until you're wondering why you can never seem to get ahead. Here's what makes this so frustrating. You're not being reckless. You're not living beyond your means in any dramatic way. You're just bleeding money through 1,000 tiny cuts you barely notice making. The solution isn't willpower. If willpower worked, you'd have fixed this already. What actually works is friction. Modern commerce is designed to be frictionless. Retailers spend billions of dollars to make the path between wanting and buying as smooth as possible. One-click ordering, saved credit card info, and biometrics are all designed to remove the moment of thought. To save your money, you have to manually put the friction back in. This video covers 15 subtle shifts, the friction fix, that actually prevent overspending. Not by making you miserable, but by changing the invisible systems that govern where your money goes. If your account balance keeps surprising you in the wrong direction, these habits are why. 1. The mandatory delay bracket. The first shift is implementing a mandatory waiting period based on the price of the item. This targets the root cause of overspending, the impulse. The majority of regretted purchases happen within minutes of first seeing something. Desire peaks immediately, then fades. Retailers know this, which is why they use flash sales to create urgency. The fix is simple. Create a mandatory gap. For anything under $50, wait 24 hours. For items between $50 and $200, wait 72 hours. For anything over $200, you must wait a full week. During this time, add the item to a list, not a cart. When the timer is up, you'll be shocked at how many things you no longer even want. 2. The marketing blackout. Every marketing email is an engineered trigger. They aren't neutral information, they are psychological weapons deployed against your wallet. They create a desire for a product you weren't even thinking about 30 seconds ago. Spend 30 minutes today unsubscribing from every promotional list. If you don't see the 40% off alert, you don't feel the need to save money by spending money. By removing the trigger, you remove the impulse. 3. Deleting the shortcuts. Your phone is the most dangerous financial tool you own because it's always with you. Shopping apps are designed to minimize friction. One-click buying and push notifications exist to make spending faster than thinking. Delete the apps. All of them. If you genuinely need to buy something, force yourself to use a mobile browser, log in manually, and type in your shipping address. That extra 60 seconds of effort is the friction that allows your logical brain to catch up with your emotional impulses. 4. The biological clock check. Never shop when you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Our biological state dramatically affects our decision-making. When you are tired or stressed, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control, is compromised. You seek a hit of dopamine to feel better, and a quick purchase provides that. If you aren't in a neutral emotional state, you are not allowed to hit buy. 5. The digital envelope system. When all your money sits in one account, every dollar feels available for any purpose. The money for your rent is physically indistinguishable from your entertainment money. This makes it easy to, accidentally, spend your bill money. Create separate accounts for separate functions. One for fixed bills, one for savings, and one for discretionary fun money. When the fun account hits zero, the spending stops. This structure prevents you from being blindsided by a balance that seemed fine just days ago. 6. The one in, one out. Rule for every new physical item you bring into your home, one similar item must leave. Buy a new pair of shoes? An old pair must be donated or sold. This creates physical friction. Knowing you have to part with something you already own makes the new purchase feel costlier. It forces you to evaluate if the new item is actually better than what you already have. 7. Cost per use calculation. Before any significant purchase, run the math on the cost per use. Divide the price by the number of times you will realistically use it. A $100 dress you wear once for a wedding is $100 per use. A $200 pair of high-quality boots you wear 200 times is $1 per use. This calculation often reveals that cheap items are actually the most expensive ones you buy. It shifts your focus from the price tag to the actual value. 8. The morning awareness ritual. Checking your balance shouldn't be a source of anxiety. It should be a source of data. Spend 30 seconds every morning checking your accounts, not to obsess, but to maintain ambient awareness. When you know exactly where you stand, your brain naturally adjusts your behavior throughout the day. It makes your financial reality impossible to ignore. 9. The ghost cart technique. We often get the dopamine hit just from the act of shopping, browsing, selecting, and adding to the cart. Use this to your advantage. Go through the entire process of shopping online, add everything you want to the cart, and then close the tab. Often, the act of selecting is enough to satisfy the brain's craving for novelty without ever spending a dime. 10. Manual data entry. Stop using autofill for your credit card information. Delete your saved cards from Chrome, Safari, and Amazon. Forcing yourself to physically get up, find your wallet, and type in 16 digits creates a massive amount of friction. Most impulse buys aren't worth the effort of walking across the room to find a credit card. If you're too lazy to get the card, you didn't really need the item. 11. The hours of life. Reframe. Stop looking at prices in dollars and start looking at them in hours of life. If you earn $25 an hour after taxes, a $100 pair of jeans isn't $100. It's 4 hours of your life sitting at your desk. When you ask yourself, is this gadget worth 6 hours of my life? The answer is often a resounding no. This shifts money from an abstract number to a finite resource, your time. 12. The subscription audit. Subscriptions are designed to be forgotten. Companies know that friction to cancel is their best friend. Once a month, review every recurring charge. If you haven't used the service in the last 30 days, cancel it. You can always sign up again later. This stops subscription creep from slowly inflating your fixed expenses until your financial flexibility disappears. 13. The grocery list lockdown. Never walk into a store without a specific written list. Stores are engineered environments designed to extract more money from you than you intended to spend. Layout, lighting, and even the music are optimized to keep you browsing. The list is your shield. If it's not on the list, it doesn't go in the cart. No exceptions. 14. Social media. De-influence. Social media is a constant stream of lifestyle creep. You are bombarded with images of what you should own or where you should be traveling. This creates an artificial sense of lack. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like your current life isn't enough. Replace them with accounts that focus on your actual goals, investing, minimalism, or hobbies that don't require spending. 15. The visual progress tracker. Spending provides immediate, visible gratification. Saving is invisible, which is why it feels like deprivation. To fix this, you must make your progress visible. Create a savings thermometer or a debt payoff chart on your fridge. Every time you resist an impulse buy, move that money to your savings and color in the chart. This transforms non-spending into a measurable, visible achievement. The 15 shifts we just covered share a singular DNA. They don't rely on your willpower. Willpower is a finite battery that drains every time you make a decision. By the time you've finished a long day of work, that battery is empty, and that's exactly when the frictionless world of modern commerce strikes. To keep money in your bank account, you must stop trying to be stronger and start being smarter about your environment. You don't need more discipline. You need better systems. The science of the pause. The reason the mandatory delay bracket and the ghost cart work so effectively is rooted in neurobiology. When you see something you want, your brain's reward system releases dopamine. This creates a high-pressure state of wanting that bypasses your prefrontal cortex, the logical decision-making center. However, dopamine spikes are temporary. By implementing a 24-hour or 72-hour rule, you allow the chemical surge to recede. You move the decision from your emotional brain back to your logical brain. In the light of the next morning, that must-have gadget often looks like what it actually is, a plastic distraction that will eventually become clutter, defeating the invisible leak. Most people focus on the big wins, negotiating a salary or buying a cheaper car, but they ignore the invisible leaks. The morning awareness ritual and the subscription audit are designed to seal these leaks. Think of your bank account like a bucket. You can pour as much income into it as you want, but if the bottom is full of tiny pin-sized holes, the bucket will never be full. These holes are the $9.99 streaming services you don't watch, the $4 convenience fees, and the $15 lunch upgrades. Individually, they are insignificant. Collectively, they are the reason you feel broke despite earning a good living. When you add friction to these small transactions, you are effectively plugging the holes in your bucket. Reframing value: time versus currency. One of the most powerful shifts in this system is the hours of life reframe. We have been trained to view money as an abstract number on a screen. This abstraction makes it easy to spend, but your time is not abstract. It is the only truly non-renewable resource you possess. When you look at a $500 smartphone and realize it represents 20, 30, or 40 hours of you sitting in a chair, dealing with stress and sacrificing time away from your family, the value changes. You aren't just spending currency. You are trading pieces of your life. When you view every purchase through the lens of life energy, your friction fix becomes an act of self-respect. The psychology of visual gratification. The final piece of the puzzle is the visual progress tracker. The reason we overspend is that spending feels like a win in the moment. You get a new box, a new smell, a new status symbol. Saving, by contrast, usually feels like a loss, a sacrifice of pleasure. By creating a visual chart of your savings or debt payoff, you are hacking your brain's reward system. You are giving yourself a visual hit of dopamine for not spending. Suddenly, watching a line move up on a graph or coloring in a square on your fridge provides more satisfaction than the temporary high of a new purchase. You are training your brain to find pleasure in progress, not just in possessions, implementing the fix. The average person will hear these 15 shifts, agree with them, and then change nothing. They will continue to let frictionless systems drain their future. Don't be the average person. You don't have to implement all 15 tonight. That would create too much friction in your life and lead to burnout. Instead, pick the top 3 that target your biggest leaks. 1. If you shop when you're bored, delete the apps. 2. If you don't know where your money goes, start the morning ritual. 3. If you struggle with impulse buys, set the delay bracket. Master those 3 for 21 days. Once they become automatic, add 3 more. Your financial future isn't built by one massive heroic moment. It is built by the dozens of small, quiet, frictionless decisions you make every single day. The money you're losing isn't lost to the economy or bad luck. It's lost to the small, the forgettable, and the unconscious. Seal the leaks, put the friction back in, and watch how quickly the disappearing money starts to stay exactly where it belongs, in your account, working for your future. Now you know the secret behind the friction fix. The only question is whether you will let the systems control you or if you will take control of the systems. What you do with the next 24 hours will determine the next 10 years. Choose wisely.